here's Brody Brazil.
As I record here on a Saturday night, this is bound to be baseball's biggest headline going into winter meetings, which start tomorrow in Dallas, Texas. 29-year-old Willy Adames has signed a 7-year deal with the San Francisco Giants. It's their largest in franchise history. It's going to keep Adames in a Giants jersey through most of his 30s. And I've got 7 different things to point out and break down and bring to your attention here with this video. Number 1, for the Giants and the team and the franchise and the fan base, this is so impactful. This is how the Buster Posey president of baseball operations era begins. This is Buster's first move. He was only brought in about a month ago, and not that there was some large anticipation about officially what the first big thing would be, but this is it. And it's pretty good, and considering how Adames was held out there in terms of other free agents, this is a big one to land at an important position for San Francisco. It's also the timing of this before winter meetings begin. So all the pressure and all the uncertainty of what different teams are going to do in the conversations and the rumor mill, which gets kicked into overdrive in the next handful of days, the Giants don't necessarily have to worry about that. They've already got the wheels in motion. They've already made their first move. And perhaps signing Adames is a magnet to other players out there who want to join the San Francisco Giants. Could this deal set the tone for other moves that the Giants and Buster Posey might be making? This is also obviously a historical deal. We shouldn't bury the lead on this. 7 years, $182 million. It is the largest contract ever awarded in franchise history. And how cool that the person to supposedly award it, I mean, Buster's not the GM, that's Zach Manassian, but Buster Posey is part of awarding the biggest contract in franchise history because he was the person that prior to this owned that title. So it's kind of a fitting passing of the baton from Posey to Willy Adames. And so again, this is a big commitment. This is a big deal. It should be recognized as that. And they're getting a winner. It sure seems like the Giants are. No primary shortstop in Major League Baseball has a higher team winning percentage since 2018 than Willy Adames. You take a look at the Rays teams he was on, the Brewers teams he was on. They were all competitive. They were all good. And a common thread was, well, he was part of them. So you look at all of Major League Baseball, across all the years since 2018, no shortstop, no primary shortstop owns a better team winning percentage than Willy Adames, and I think that was somewhere in the 570s, if I'm correct. That's stat per ESPN. But it's an interesting way to point it out that individually his stats are successful. Individually his stats are worth noticing. But being part of good teams is also something that he's accustomed to. And look, being the shortstop, being the everyday shortstop, you have to tie those two things together. He's a good player. The teams he's on win a lot of games. Those two things are definitely related. Willy Adames is durable. He has played across the last 4 seasons, 140, 139, 149, and last year, 161 games. He played all but 1 game with the Milwaukee Brewers last year, but a high total across each of the last 4 seasons. And it kind of makes me wonder. I've been saying this for a while, and it was no disrespect to Kennedy or anybody else who filled the shortstop position last year for San Francisco. After Brandon Crawford, what were you going to do? And it brings me back to the days of when Rich Aurilia was there for so many years. What were you going to do right after Rich Aurilia? And there have been other great shortstops too for the Giants, don't get me wrong. I'll throw Omar Vizquel's name in there, but to have a sustainable, long-term shortstop that you know and trust, it certainly makes me hope that Adames can fall in the same conversation, in that same group, in that same thought process of a Rich Aurilia and of a Brandon Crawford. This team has done well when they have solid, sustainable, everyday shortstops. A lot of teams are like that, but especially the Giants, and maybe this is now history repeating itself. Adames hit a bunch of 3-run homers and grand slams last year. I want to say 13, which far and away led Major League Baseball in that category. But overall, he's no stranger to the long ball. He's hit 25, 31, 24, and 32 home runs each of the last 4 seasons. And I feel like we keep saying this year after year. It's like a broken record situation, but Could Willy Adames be that 30 home run hitter for the San Francisco Giants? Because they haven't had a 30 home run hitter in one season since Barry Bonds in the early 2000s. I know. That's crazy. That's ridiculous. And Jorge Soler was supposed to be that guy recently. Michael Conforto was supposed to be that guy recently. Matt Chapman got close. He was only a couple away from 30 last year. And I'm not saying that was by surprise. You knew Chappie would get it close, and he might be the guy to do it this upcoming year. But Willy Adames has hit 30-plus homers in 2 of the last 3 seasons and should probably be able to replicate that for years after years to come. So could he be that 30 home run hitter? It's not maybe something necessarily you expect from your shortstop as opposed to an outfielder to be that power hitter, but maybe Willy Adames could be that first 30 guy since Barry Bonds. He's got that capability. And the last thing here to point out is how he has been endorsed. Now, it's important I let you know before we read the quote from Craig Counsell, it's important you know that Bob Melvin and Craig Counsell are longtime friends. They're buddies. And Craig Counsell, not even right now, long ago, maybe even when Adames was under any consideration, that Counsell and Melvin have had this chat. This is a quote from Craig Counsell when he was Brewers manager about Willy Adames, right? So there's that connection. Craig was Willy's former manager, but Craig and Bob have this understanding, and they're on the same wavelength. So they're both going to appreciate Willy in pretty much the same way. This is what Craig said about Willy. Willy is a connector. That's number 1. Number 2, he has an infectious personality. Those 2 points are related. They draw people to him. Players, fans, coaching staffs. There aren't many players that have it. End quote. So what does that tell you? Beyond the stats, beyond the durability, beyond the fact that he's a winner, he's on winning teams, he visits the playoffs on a pretty regular basis, individually, he's a leader. It goes beyond the performance on the field. It's the clubhouse guy. It's the type of person you're getting as part of this deal in addition to the players. So for the San Francisco Giants, the timing on this, the fact that he's first in the Buster Posey era, the fact that he's out there, although if you really think about it, Buster wasn't officially in the president's job when he helped work out the Matt Chapman deal, right? He stepped in and he got that deal done. Maybe in reality, that'll be a trivia question. What was Buster Posey's first move as Giants president? Maybe it was Matt Chapman, but officially it's going down as Willy Adames. And again, I just like the fact that this takes a little weight and pressure off the Giants going into winter meetings in Texas. And it's not that they're going to take their foot off the gas pedal. It's that now there's a different attitude, vibe surrounding the entire situation. This is a shortstop. This is a good fit for so many reasons. Looking forward to seeing Willy Adames as a member of the Giants. That's the end of this video. Thumbs up down below if you would. That would greatly help me and this video and this channel. And also, before it ends, real quick, this video, if you could go down there and hit that subscribe button, make sure you're subscribing to this channel. That way I can definitely see you back here next time.